Cool. Alrighty, so let me just move that down a little bit. We're going to start on our back. So come to lie down and just bring your hands onto your belly and let your feet come onto the mat, knees bent, and just find your breath. So kind of letting go of whatever's going on in your day so far, your week, untethering the mind and the worry to anything that you need to do the rest of the day or the rest of the week. And just allow yourself for the next sort of 40 to 50 minutes to just be present. To be present in your mind, to be present in your physical body, to be present in the challenges, in the stumbles and the wobbles, in whatever is going to happen without judgment, knowing that you're on a journey, you're learning, you're challenging yourself, you're strengthening, you're building mobility. All of this is a journey. Imagine this journey as a circle with no start, no end. You can kind of bounce around. And just remembering that every time you come to the mat, every time that you practice, it's a different you, a different experience. And therefore expecting your practice to be the exact same, your body to perform the exact same, it's just never going to happen. So just allow the expectations to roll off and just enjoy the ride. So just starting to deepen the breath. And think about stretching into the thoracic chamber as much as you can as you inhale, really expanding, expanding, expanding. And then closing everything back down as you exhale. Expanding. Almost like a parachute filling up with air as it drops towards the ground. And then as you exhale, just feeling these different parts of the parachute closing back in. And just take 5 more breaths like this. Nice. And then from here, just fluttering the eyes open, bringing your hands onto the floor, feet approximately below the knees. And we're just going to work on those pelvic rotations to press the lower back down and to engage the belly. So in neutral, your lower back's lifting away from the floor. If you poke your belly, it's quite soft. None of those muscles are engaging. So take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to pull your hip towards your rib and push your lower back into the floor. And you should feel that the abdomen slightly engages. Good. Release. Inhale. And as you exhale, engage. Good. Keep moving like this. So breathing with core work can sometimes confuse people. And it is one of the kind of parts of yoga that it's really important to kind of get the breath right with it. Not in a way that you're going to injure yourself or anything, but it just makes the movements easier. I want you to visualize when you're inhaling, you're expanding, okay? So the lungs are expanding, the belly's expanding. And we need to be soft in our muscles to make this happen. And when we exhale, we're compressing everything. We're pushing the air out and you can feel your muscles engage. So when we exhale, this is where we contract our muscles, we strengthen our muscles, and we use the core, okay? So the inhales tend to be like a release, and the exhales are where we want to go pow and really engage, okay? So just try to remember that as we move. I will be talking about the breath lots today, But the exhale is where you want to be doing the hardest bit of the work. And the inhale is where you want to be like, releasing. Nice. Okay. So from here, we're going to take the legs up to the sky. Now, two options. You can have the hands on the floor, or you can bring the thumbs slightly underneath the hips if this is difficult. Now, don't worry about the legs being totally straight. That doesn't matter at all. So take an inhale. And as you exhale, just press the lower back down. Inhale. And press the lower back down. Now, if you watch me when I'm doing this, when I exhale, my toes come slightly in. And the reason for this is because my pelvis is moving and my tailbone is naturally lifting a little bit off the mat. So just see if you can feel that or notice the toes moving. And we're going to take this a little bit further. If this is all you want to do, then stay here. If you want to engage a little bit more, just watch me first. This time as I exhale, I'm going to bring my hip towards my rib, and I'm also going to lift my hips a little bit off the mat. As I inhale, I'm going to release, my belly goes soft, my hips come down. As I exhale, I pull my ribs in, and I'm going to try to lift my hips. So I'm really engaging. So just keep moving like this. The hips don't have to be like kapow off the floor, but just a little lift, and then back down. Again, we really want to be pressing the lower back down, engaging the abdomen to do this, so we're protecting the spine. If it's too hard to lift the hips, just keep working on pressing lower back and releasing. Do it 5 more times. Doesn't have to be fast, okay? Core work does not mean speed. This is just going to wind you, take your breath away, and you'll end up probably not breathing right. And when you're done your 5th one, you're just going to take your hands onto your knees and gently rock side to side. Nice. Okay. So we're going to do one more round. You can stay, easiest option, feet down, just work on the pelvic tilt. Next option is feet up, working on the pelvic tilt. Third option, you're going to lift the hips again, but you're going to pistol grip above the head. So pistol grip, all the fingers interlace, but index finger extends like you've got a gun. And then watch me first. I'm going to take an inhale, I release. As I exhale, I'm going to bring my hips in. I'm going to start to lift my hips, and I'm going to go kapow and lift my shoulders off the mat as well. As I inhale, I lower back down. As I exhale, pew, do a little shoot. Okay, so that's the most difficult option. You've got all those other options. Feet can come down. See if you can do 10. Just inhale, exhale, engage. Slow inhale, give yourself a little break. Exhale, engage. Good, about 7 more. And if you start to get any kind of pain in the lower back, just take it down a level. Last few here. When you've done 10 or you've had enough, again, you just grab a hold of those knees. Really nice way to release the lower back. And just gently rock from side to side. Nice. And then from here, we're going to take the hands under the knees and just start to take those little rocks and rolls up and down, until eventually you can roll all the way up and over, coming into tabletop position. You can ignore the rock and roll as well and just bring yourself into tabletop. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Let's just take a moment to get into tabletop. So pull the forearms towards each other. Externally rotate the biceps. Think about broadening across the collarbones. Draw the hips slightly in towards the ribs, belly in. Look straight down, crown of the head coming forwards, tailbone shooting back. Nice and strong. Okay, moving from the belly. As you inhale, coming into what I like to call lazy cow. So belly drops, sit bones rise, gazing up. And then as you exhale, move from the belly button first. Start to draw the belly button in, curling the spine, head and tailbone come towards each other. Again, inhale, release. So if you remember what I was just saying about the breath, The inhale is soft, relaxed, nothing's engaging. The exhale, kapow, if you feel yourself moving into cat pose, you know this is more engaged. There's more muscles working. You're exhaling, belly is engaging. Inhale, letting everything go. So your body, once you start to practice yoga more regularly, will just start to naturally do this because it makes sense. And then the breathing in yoga becomes so much easier when it just kind of naturally drops into where it should be. But don't stress about it at the beginning. It's a learning curve. Good. And then making your way back into tabletop position. So get that engagement. Try not to let the tailbone shoot up to the sky. You want the tailbone straight down. Tuck your right toe, drag that right toe behind you. Good. Now look at one thing. You're going to lift the right toe off the floor, and then you're going to see if you can take your left hand forwards. Option one, just stay here and work on balance. Eventually, we want the bicep in line with the ear, the heel in line with the bum. Take an inhale, either stay put or as you exhale, see if you can bring elbow and knee towards each other. Re-extend as you inhale. Exhale, remember we're compressing the air out of the body. We're taking it in. Inhale, we're expanding, we're creating space. See if you can do 2 more. Exhale is where you compress, the core is working. Inhale, creating space, body's opening. Last one. Good. And once you finish that one, just drop into a little child's pose. Maybe wriggle the wrists. You will feel it in the wrists. Okay, you're still developing all that strength. And then bring yourself back into tabletop. So we're going to try the other side. Tuck the left toe, drag it behind you. Think about already engaging the core. Left hand stays put. Slide the right fingers forwards, lift the left foot, and then lift that right hand. Keep the gaze down. Okay, I'm not even doing the pose, so don't even look at the screen. Find that length. Big inhale, either just staying and working on balance, or as you exhale, elbow and knee come together. Now, you might be wobbling all over the place. That's fine. As you inhale, re-extend. Exhale, zip it all into center. Inhale, re-extend. 2 more, use your own breath. And again, excuse me. When you're done, drop into that little child's pose. Right wrist is going to be feeling it, so give the wrist a little wriggle, a little bit of movement. Just catching your breath. Nice. Good. And then you're going to bring yourself forwards. And I'm just going to demo something really quick. We're going to be doing a lot of these today. We're going to be using the blocks under our hands. I believe we've done this before. So we're going to be bringing the knee to the chest, just like we were doing, but from a downward dog. And what's really important is that obviously we're using the core, but we're also engaging through that serratus anterior. So when I go to do this, I want you to watch my shoulders, okay? And I'll explain it as I'm going. So the move is simply this. We take the leg up to the sky, and then we bring the knee to the nose. And this is what helps us to step the foot through, okay? But we need to develop the strength to get that foot through. The blocks under our hands are going to make this much easier. So I'm going to lift my leg. Then I'm going to start to bring my knee towards my nose. Now my shoulders in downward dog are really far back. I want to get my shoulders over my wrists. Then once my shoulders are over my wrists, I push into the block and I start to round my back. Now, as I do this, I suck my knee in towards my chest. Then I re-extend. I bring my shoulders back over those blocks, suck everything in. I'm high on the ball of the back of my foot as well. And then I bring my leg up. Okay, so we're going to do different variations of this. They take a lot of work. Do 1, do 3. We're going to do 3 on each side. If you get tired, you can watch, you can skip them, but the blocks are going to make it much easier. We're going to have more height. So let's just find downward dog on the blocks first. So hands on the blocks, tuck the toes, scooch your butt up to the sky. And just take a moment here, pedaling through the feet, Nodding and shaking the head. Remember that you can have a soft bend in those knees. And just look at your blocks. Notice that in downward dog, the shoulders are really far back. Let's just roll forwards into plank. Feel the shoulders come over the wrists. Push into the blocks. Feel the upper back round. Send the butt back up to the sky, finding downward dog. So just do a couple of these. Roll forwards into plank, push into those blocks, and then send the bum back up to the sky. Forwards into plank, push into the blocks, bum up to the sky. Good, okay. So let's try our first knee to nose. So your left leg is gonna stay put. Lift your right leg. Don't worry how high that right leg goes. Now, just do that same movement. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. At the same time, bring the knee to the nose. Now push into the blocks and try to lift that knee as high as you can. Then shoulders go back, lift the leg high. Bring the knee forwards. Don't worry how high the knee goes. Get the shoulders over the wrists. Push, suck the knee in. Send the leg back up to the sky. One more, bring that knee forwards. Look forwards and you're going to step the foot. Your foot might only come this far. If it does, just grab the foot, hop, 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 drop your back knee. Remember with our knee, we want the foot to be slightly forwards of that knee. Okay, so take your blocks onto their highest setting and just get yourself set up into this pose, making sure that your front knee is not overshooting that ankle. Good. Feel your belly connect to your thigh. Okay, so belly and thigh are connected. Good. From here, you're going to slowly keep the belly and thigh connected and see if you can bring your arms in line with your ears. As soon as you do this, you're going to feel the core kick in, not lifting the belly off the thighs. You're in like a 45-degree angle. And on your next inhale, lift up. Good. As you exhale, belly back onto the thighs. Keep the arms in line with the ears. Inhale, back up. 2 more like this. Exhale, belly onto thighs. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, belly onto thighs. Inhale, back up. Good. From here, we're going to take our hands back onto the blocks. Flatten them out. Tuck your back toe, raise your back knee. And then step back into downward dog. Pedal out those feet. Good. Okay, let's see how we do on the left. So right foot is going to stay put. Lift that left leg. And then bring the knee to the nose. Remember, shoulders come forwards. Push into the blocks, lift that knee. Send the leg back up to the sky. Bring that knee forwards, push into the blocks, suck that knee in. Back up to the sky. Bring the shoulders forward, suck the knee, look forwards, and try to step the foot. Again, if it doesn't come all the way, hop it forwards until you have to drop your knee, untuck the toe, then walk that foot further forwards. Might be easier if you take the blocks on the highest setting first, then start to inch forward. So we're sinking forwards in the hips. Front knee isn't overshooting the ankle, so we don't want to look like this, okay? So that foot is slightly more forwards. Good. Now feel the belly connect to that front thigh. You're in a long line. So if you can see from my back knee to the crown of my head, it's kind of like this long angle. From here, you're going to keep the belly where it is. Lift the biceps in line with the ears. Good. Feel the core work. Inhale. Rise up. Good. Exhale, belly back onto thighs. Don't let the arms drop. Keep them in line with those ears. Inhale, back up. Exhale, drop. Nice. One more. Inhale, up. And exhale, hands are going to come down. Find the blocks. Tuck back toe, raise back knee. Push into the blocks. Step back to downward dog. Dropping those knees. And maybe sinking into child's pose just for a moment. So little break between the different challenges. So we're just going to do 3 rounds of this, but I'm obviously going to throw in a little bit more on each round. So kind of like a vinyasa flow, but we're not doing any vinyasas today. Good. So just popping your head up, you're going to watch me first. So in the first one, we were taking the knee to the nose, straight through center. In this second variation, we're going to bring the knee to the outer elbow, okay? So just watch me first. Legs on the floor. I'm going to lift my leg. And as I exhale, instead of coming through center, I'm going to bring my knee to the outer elbow. Now you might be able to touch the elbow. Don't worry if you can't. Push into those blocks, then lift back up. Okay, so find that downward dog. This is going to work more the outer edge of the rib cage of the core. So finding that downward dog, lift that right leg high. And as you exhale, just bring the right knee to the right elbow. Get the shoulders over the wrists, then suck everything up. Send it back up to the sky. Knee to that right elbow. Push, push, push. Lift the knee higher. Back up. Knee to the right elbow. Get the shoulders over the wrists. Look forwards and then try to step that foot forwards. Now, from here, I want you to take your blocks on their highest setting. Okay, we're not going to drop the back knee. If you have to drop the back knee, go for it. Then walk, 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 walk. Your front foot forwards. Good. Drop the back heel so the toes are out to the sides and you've got a nice stable base. Okay, I don't want to challenge you too much. Now look forwards. Two options. Option one, just bring the hands straight up. If you want to do the core work that we just did, keep the belly down. Bring the arms in line with the ears, then lift up. Whew, and you should feel the difference. Good. Okay, so finding what's called warrior one, front toe and front knee facing forwards. You may want to take your back foot out slightly. Press into the outside edge of that back foot. Feel the butt cheek engage. Good. Now, from here, hands don't have to be up to the sky. You can take them onto the hips. Torso forwards. Nice. So watch me first. I'm going to take my hands behind my head, okay, interlacing my hands. I'm going to take an inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to twist and try to bring my left elbow towards my right knee. I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to like powerhouse today. So I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I twist and just come slightly down. Back up to the top, square my torso. Okay, so we're going to try 5 of these. I want you to feel into the core and not feel like you have to superhero down to that knee. Use the breath. So we'll do a couple really slow together. So hands interlaced behind the head. Keep the bend in the front knee. Keep pressing into that back heel. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist slightly. Good. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just see if you can dive down a little bit with that back, with your left elbow. Then inhale all the way back up to the top, straighten out. Good, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Stay here for another breath. We're just doing it slow. And on your next exhale, dipping down. Back up to the top, inhale, straighten. Nice, good. Seeing if you can go a little bit faster, inhale. As you exhale, can you twist and dip down at the same time? Then inhale back up. So you've got 2 more. You can do it in 2 breaths where you kind of do it in different stages, or you can do it in 1 breath where you do the twist and the dip at the same time. And don't worry if your balance is kind of going all over the place as well. Good. And then eventually you're going to bring those arms up by the ears. Good. And then from here, keeping the arms in line with the ears, just start to come forwards, forwards, forwards. Feel the core work, feel the core work. And then eventually bring the hands onto the blocks. From here, maneuver your blocks onto their flattest setting. Tuck the back toe and step back into downward dog. Pedaling out those feet. Nice. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to change my position. So left leg is going to lift. As you exhale, bring left knee to left elbow. Push into those hands. Suck that knee up towards the armpit. And then send the leg back up. Press the shoulders back. Forwards. Knee to that elbow. Send it back up. And then one more time, knee to elbow, get the shoulders over the wrists, then look forwards, step the foot as far as it'll go, high onto those blocks. Okay, this is going to help you. Then maybe start to walk that foot further forwards. Drop your right foot. Okay, you can also shorten your stance if that makes it easier. Press into the outside edge of the back foot, look forwards. Okay, From here, rise up how you want. If you want the challenge, biceps in line with those ears, then lift up. It's really hard on the core. Then just let the hands go. Let's find our alignment. Press into the back heel. Feel your right butt cheek engage and pull your right hip forwards. If this is too intense on that knee, turn your toe further forwards. Keeping the bend in that knee. Good. Nice. Okay. So hands behind the head. Inhale first for your length. Exhale, right elbow to center. And then exhale, bringing it down. Inhale back up. Find that straightness. Good. Let's do another like that. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale, take that dive. Back to center as you inhale. Good. 3 more. Don't look at me. I'm not even doing the pose. Focus on something still. Think more about the breath. The inhales are the aha moments. The exhales are the moments. This is super good for all the muscles around the outsides of the waist. And once you finish those 3, you're going to release those arms, bring them up by the ears. Try to keep the biceps beside those ears and just slowly start to tip down. Okay. Find that point where you really feel the core start to work. Maybe stay there for a breath. And then gently guide those hands down to the blocks. Blocks come on their lowest setting. Nice and flat. Spin onto the ball of the back foot. Stepping your left foot back. Finding downward dog. And then bringing those knees onto the floor. Taking a little child's pose just before we come into our last round. Good. So pop the head up. Again, you're just going to watch me first as I demo. So we have gone through center. We've gone to the outside. Now we're going to cross the knee under to try to go towards the opposite elbow. This is super good for a muscle called transverse abdominis. Really, really, really great for the core. Doesn't matter how far that knee goes. So just watch me first. So I'm going to lift my right leg. I'm going to come through center, but as I come through center, I'm going to twist. My shoulders still come over my wrist, and I'm bringing my knee to my left elbow. And then I take it back up to the sky. Okay, so meet me in downward dog. It doesn't matter how far that knee goes. Just really work on trying to get your shoulders over your wrists. Right leg lifts. As you exhale, bring the knee through. Try to touch the left elbow, doesn't matter. And then send the leg back up to the sky. Good. Come through center. As the shoulders come over the wrist, push into the blocks. Back up to center. One more twist, 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 twist. Look to center. Step that foot. Again, take the blocks on their highest setting to help you through. Walk, walk, walk that foot. Drop your back heel. Press into the back foot. Look forwards. Either rising up, or if you want to challenge your balance, biceps by the ears, rise up. Finding warrior 1, and we're going to go straight to warrior 2. Okay, so warrior 2, if you remember, front knees facing forwards. You don't want your knee overshooting your ankle. So if that's happening, widen the stance. Left toes to the side. Good. Arms are going to come nice and long. This is going to work the arms. Good. And then interlace the hands behind the head. So we're doing the exact same kind of crunch, but I want you to think about not moving the bones, but squeezing the muscles to move the bones. That'll make sense in a second. So just watch me first. I'm going to take an inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to squeeze this side of my waist to bring my elbow down. Then I'm going to squeeze this side of the waist to bring me back up. Okay. So without using the arms, just stand. You can take your hands on your hips. Take an inhale at the top. As you exhale, squeeze the right side of your waist. Good. Inhale here. And as you exhale, squeeze the left side of your waist. Much safer way to move. Let's do one more like that. Inhale at the top. Exhale. Sorry, Hudson's chasing a fly right now. Squeeze the right side of the waist. Inhale back to center. Oh, sorry, no. Inhale here, then exhale, squeeze the left side of the waist. So option one, hands stay there. If you want to work a little bit harder, you're going to take the hands behind the head now. Same exact principle. Inhale, find length. Exhale, squeeze the right, squeeze the right, squeeze the right. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the left, squeeze the left, squeeze the left. Good. Inhale at the top. Exhale, squeeze the right, squeeze the right, squeeze the right. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the left, squeeze the left, squeeze the left. We'll do two more. Use your own breath. Okay, so you move at your pace. Don't worry about how fast or slow I'm moving. We want to be moving holistically. We want to be engaging the muscles. Good. And when you've done those extra two, you're going to release the arms back into warrior two. You're probably really feeling it in that front thigh. From here, you're going to bring your right hand onto the block, your left hand onto the block. Bring the blocks nice and flat. Step back. Find warrior two. Good. All right. Let's do the left side. So left leg is going to lift. Then you're going to bring your left knee to your right elbow, remembering to press into those blocks, shoulders over the wrists. Left leg comes back up. Cross under, push, push, push. Lift that knee. Back up. One more, cross, 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 cross. Look forwards, step the foot. Again, don't worry how far that foot goes. Take your blocks on their highest setting. Maybe walk the foot between the blocks. Drop your right foot. Look forwards, either rising straight up or using that core biceps in line with the ears, then lifting. Finding warrior one nice and strong. And then as you exhale, we're going to find warrior two. So right toes, pew, face the side. Make sure that the left toes and left knee are forwards. Make sure that your front knee isn't overshooting your ankle. You need to have a bend in this knee as well. Arms nice and long. Shoulders away from those ears. Good. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Hands on the hips. Good. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze left side of waist. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze right side of waist. Good. Two more like that. Inhale. One more, I meant. Squeeze left. Inhale. Squeeze right. Either hands stay on the hips or up it by taking the hands behind the head. Inhale. Exhale, left waist squeezes. Squeeze a little bit more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Inhale. And then exhale back to center. Good. Three more. Use your own breath. As you squeeze, almost imagine like you're squeezing out a lemon. Like when you get to that bit where you feel like there's no more, see if you can go a little bit further. Then the inhale brings you up, or the inhale is the hold, and the exhale squeezes you back. So you're squeezing the lemon or lime juice out of the two sides of the waists. This is going to strengthen the intercostal muscles around the rib cage as well. And once you finish those three, those arms open back into warrior two. Big inhale. Exhale, left hand's going to come down first onto the block, then the right hand. Spin onto the ball of the back foot, and you're going to step your right foot forwards. Bend the knees, let the belly rest on the thighs. Hands can stay on the blocks, or you can let the hands come onto the floor. Let your head be heavy. Totally releasing the head. This is called ragdoll. Just releasing here. Good. Now press into the heels, draw the navel in, and see if you can slowly roll up. If rolling's too much, walk your hands up the body and help yourself up to standing. Good. Shake it out. Hopefully you're all right. We've just got two more poses before we come onto our bum. One is chair pose. The second is awkward pose, which is a variation of chair. We're going to try to hold for about 60 seconds in each of these poses. So just to remind you, chair pose, big toes to touch, heels can be slightly apart, okay? If that's uncomfortable for the legs at all, you can slightly separate. I want you to think about this squeezing action. So you're squeezing the hips in, you're squeezing the thighs in. Remember, as we come down, we don't want to send the booty out. Instead of thinking about tucking the tailbone, just think about bringing your hip slightly towards your ribs. So just kind of feel that difference. Okay, so butt isn't out like this. It's slightly tailbone down, not tucked. So big toes come to touch. We're going to take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to sit the weight into the heels, start to sit into that chair, out the booty going back, keeping the hip and the ribs slightly towards each other, then bringing those hands up. Now you can sit really low, but if that's hurting the knees at all, just come up. Now, if you're building strength in the thighs, you might be like quite high. I'd rather you be able to hold the pose in some slight comfort. I always want it to be a bit difficult, okay? I want you to work, but you should be able to breathe. Okay, so breathing in and out. Squeezing the thighs, squeezing the hips, keeping that navel slightly drawing in. Sternum's going up. You got about 20 seconds left. Keep breathing. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. For the last 10, can you sit a little lower? For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, press through those heels. Oh, nice. Take the hands on the lower back, lift the heart, and just take a little tiny back bend here. Nothing like crazy, but you're just kind of lifting the chest. Maybe pedal out the feet. You might feel this the most in the thighs. Okay, thighs are really having to work. Good. Nice. I'll give you about another 10 seconds to just kind of get some movement back into the body before we come into awkward. So you can watch me first. Awkward pose. You can, if you want, have the feet further apart. Just make sure that when you do this, your knees aren't opening out to the sides and they're not sickling in. Knees and toes going in the same direction. So if you want, you can do it like that. Otherwise, toes together. Awkward pose. Instead of sending the arms up to the sky, we send them straight out in front of us. The weight stays in the heels, so toes can lift easily. So setting yourself up, either toes and knees forwards about hip distance, or those toes touching, okay? Then from here, bend the knees, sit the weight back, keep the hips slightly drawing towards those ribs, then take those hands like you're holding a giant beach ball in front of you. Good. Count starts here. If the knees are apart, just check that they're not sickling in or out. Breathe. Find something to focus on. Make sure that you can feel the pose, feel the work happening, but that it's not totally killing you. Okay, remember that clue is in the breath. If you can breathe, then you're probably all right. Good. Last 30 seconds. Keep the belly engaged. Last 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, maybe last 10, sit a little lower, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into those heels, hands onto the back. Oh, lift the heart up to the sky. Just feel like you're pulling the elbows towards each other in the back. Nice little release here. Good. And then opening the eyes, we're going to come straight down onto our bums. And we're just going to have a little lift and lower into Navasana boat pose. And then we're done. It's been tough. Lots of work happening. So Navasana boat pose, if you don't remember, hands underneath the knees, come onto the tips of the toes. Now remember, we want this part of the boat to be slightly rounded. So draw the rib in towards the hip or the hip in towards the rib. Suck the thighs towards the belly, elbows out nice and wide. Then lift the toes slightly off the floor, looking slightly up on an angle. Now take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're just going to see if you can open your boat, releasing those knees. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, compress, bring everything back in. Good, inhale. Exhale, pew, release. Inhale. Exhale, compress, bring it in. See if you can do 2 more. Use your own breath. You can keep a hold of those knees if it's too hard to release totally. Back in, last one here. Open out. In your open, see if you can hold for 5, 4, keep rounding the lower back. 3, 2, on 1, grab the knees and roll onto the back. Just letting the body be really nice and heavy. And just take a gentle rock from side to side on the lower back. Maybe even taking those knees in a big circle one direction. And then in a big circle the other direction. And then release the arms. We're going to come into that supine twist. So slowly dropping those knees to the right. If you have a block, you could take a block under the knees to support you. If they feel okay on the floor, go for it. Press the left shoulder down. Let your left ear soften to your left shoulder. And just encourage your left hip to the right. Let your belly be soft. So you've been engaging a lot of these muscles. Just take some time to get them to release and soften and let go. And then we're going to try to move as one unit. So you're going to squeeze the thighs together. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press the lower back down, bring the knees up to the sky, and then gently start to take them over to the other side. This time, right ear softens to right shoulder. Again, allow the muscles, especially along the outer edge of the waistline, to just begin to soften and let go. On your next exhale, you're going to squeeze the thighs, push the lower back into the floor, bring those knees back all the way up. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a big old hug, like a massive well done for working so hard. And then begin to find that Shavasana. So because we've been using the core, when you straighten your legs, you might not be ready to have this kind of length in the body. So if it's fine, stay put. If you're getting any kind of pulling in the lower back, just simply bend the knees, place the feet onto the floor, and maybe let the knees knock together. This just opens the muscles of the lower back. Palms of the hands face up, and I want you to slightly tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. And then close the eyes. Just start to let yourself relax, become heavy, and sink into this restorative corpse pose. Gently start to deepen the breath again. And just feel those wonderful muscles that are involved in breathing. The muscles around the ribs, the chest, the abdomen, the diaphragm. Start to wiggle in your fingers and your toes, maybe even rocking the back of the head from side to side. And then when you're ready, just zip the legs together, point the toes, reach the arms over the head, and take a nice morning stretch here, waking yourself up fully from that deep rest in your Shavasana. And then as you exhale, you're going to gently roll over onto one side or the other. And keeping the eyes closed, pushing the floor away. Slowly making your way into a seated position. Perhaps reflecting back to those very first seated positions that we did 7 weeks ago. Do you feel any taller, any prouder? Is there any more space in the shoulders, the spine, the hips? And then as we inhale, we're going to bring our hands high above the head, pressing the palms together, sealing your practice with gratitude. Dropping the thumbs to the space between the brow for kindness in your thoughts, to your lips for kindness in your words, and then resting at heart center for you to carry kindness, compassion, and action through the rest of your Thursday. Opening the eyes, well done. Namaste. Whew! Well done. Hopefully you survived. How'd you get on?